Hi, Shabbat Shalom, my brothers and sisters. I'm coming at you with another prayer request for the United States. And our administration is showing their true colors. I want to remind all you folks out there that I do not believe the administration was legally elected. And I think that's coming out. I don't know if it'll change anything. Having prayed through that situation, even if Trump were to come back, it wouldn't change anything. We are going to be reaping what we've sown, and we've sown a lot of disrespect, disobedience, and a lot of Babylon's been planted here. Now, I do believe that most of the Torah keepers around the world are settled here. You can go to any site that has a fellowship finder and you can look that up and see where all those blue dots are. So keep that in mind. And I believe that most of these people are praying people. So if we humble ourselves and pray and repent, God will heal our land. We can't just pray and have Him fix it all without us doing the steps that we need to do to have the correction that we need to correct in ourselves. And it's not really about saving America at this point. I do hate to say that, but I do believe that we are either in or coming up upon the tribulation. Once Damascus is bombed and fails to be a city, and that's a quote, you can Google it and look it up, and with the rise of certain injectable things, which is part of the mark, it's not the whole mark. I don't understand everything that is the whole mark. And I say this because just keeping the Sabbath does not give you the seal of Yahweh on your life. It's the whole lifestyle that goes with that. It's part of the covenant, but it's not the whole of the contract that we keep between us. And it's also a work in progress. So wherever you're starting from, don't lose hope. And if you have gotten certain injectable things, pray about it. This is not it's not what they're advertising it to be. It is gene therapy. And what that means is it's changing your DNA to do something that it was not programmed by God to do. And this is a problem because God tells us not to do that in Genesis chapter 6 and in the book of Enoch, because it gave rise to the quotes, the giants or the Nephilim. Not all of them were giants. You're not going to turn into something like that. But if this continues and you allow it to have a spiritual influence in your life, then it could be a problem. And if you keep baby stepping towards all this registration they're having people do, like the Real ID, which if you have to get it, you have to get it. But at some point, you're going to have to know that you're going to have to draw a line and be able to trust God that He's going to shelter you through this and guide you through it, like He led the Hebrews out of the land of Egypt. Now, the other part of this is that the greater Exodus, I don't believe is going to be the resurrection or the rapture. And the reason is because the children of God had to get the Egypt out of themselves before they could reap the blessings and not the curses of the Torah, which is God's covenant, was saying how He is going to behave towards man. Now the curses are corrections. It's like being pulled over and getting a speeding ticket, which I got my first one recently. Sucks, but hey. And anyway, so with all of that, we are prolonging the game. Pray about your steps. Learn Torah, because the Torah is the rod and the staff. And as we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we shall fear no evil. For God's rod and his staff, they comfort us. Okay? So get comfortable with the rod and the staff, because they're guiding tools and they're disciplined to keep us on the right path. And yes, my mom used to have to herd sheep, and you do have to whack them every once in a while. Mostly the crook, which is the hook, was used to pull them back in the path. But yeah, the staff could be used to defend them. David actually killed quite a few beasts with his. And, you know, David and Goliath is kind of what we're going to be doing, guys. And David killed a giant and then picked up that giant's sword, which David was probably a small but physically fit young man, and he picked up a giant sword which would have been forged for him to carry, so it would have been an appropriate length for a giant, and a young man picked it up and cut said giant's head off with it. So if we're going to have the sword of the Spirit, we are going to have the faith and the building blocks behind that to be able to wield it. Now, you have to walk Torah, because that's the roadmap to find all the stuff that you need to forge your armor and forge your sword. It's not just plopped on you, because that would be like King Saul's armor being plopped on you, and it's not going to work, and it's not going to fit. You can't wear my armor, and I can't wear somebody else's. God has to help you forge it, and if you forge it, you intimately know it. You know it, you know how it works, you know where your weak points are, and you can understand God, who is a man of war, his battle plan to be able to use you and to be a finely honed instrument in his hands. I am going to have to cut this short because my internet connection is crappy. It's really, really bad. But I hope this uploads soon. And if you guys need anything, I do try to check my comments. For whatever reason, YouTube does not always post them on there, so I have to go into the videos individually and check them, which gets to be frustrating. But, you know, social media is their tool. We're just using it against them as long as we can. We are prolonging the game. Our hope is in the resurrection, not the rapture. And there will be a gathering up. There will be a harpazo. But don't expect it to be easy, because when the Hebrews were gathered up, it did not go well for them. Because they were worshiping the snakes of Egypt, they were sent snakes to trouble them. And yes, that's a representation of the snake offering free knowledge, because knowledge is free, truth has a high cost, and wisdom is worth what you pay for it. Okay? And that's something I made up, and it's very, very true, and you'll have to explore it for yourself to get it figured out, but I'll help you in the comments if you need me to. Anyway, there was a cost to what they were doing and the trouble they were giving Moses. And the reason that he put the serpent on a staff, when what God probably asked for was a seraph, which is a shining being, on a banner, Dr. Pigeon's my source on that one. I don't know why it got twisted, but Moses used those plays on words to toe the line a little too much, and that's why he didn't get to go into the promised land. Not that he wasn't a useful servant, but he had to get corrected one too many times. And he was still God's friend, and he did a lot of awesome stuff. So I'm not condemning him. If I am able to walk like Moses, great. I know I will be resurrected into the promised land, but we have to understand these are people. They had struggles, they had failures, and they had corrections or curses of the law. And we need to study these and understand them so that we don't repeat them, because that's why they're there. All right. Much love and many blessings to you all out there. I hope this is helpful. I really would appreciate it. If you feel like subscribing, that's great. That's not why I do this. But if you would like and also comment, I love talking to people. I don't get out much. And, I just love talking to people, and I like to answer questions. So, yep, just meet me in the comment section. All right, much love and blessings to you all out there. Bye-bye.